What's up guys? Today we're taking a look at yet another new micro compact pistol. This time it's the Sig P365 SAS. While the majority of the specs are the same as the original model, the SAS has a few changes that make a pretty big difference in how it handles and performs. We're going to go over the gun and all those features and also shoot it out on our range so that you guys can see how it actually performs. Alright guys, so here's the new Sig P365 SAS. SAS stands for Sig Anti Snag, and all the new features have been designed around this main principle. I'm sure by now you're all familiar with the original Sig P365, and as far as the base specs go, this gun really isn't that much different, so we're not going to spend too much time on that. We will throw the specs up on the screen for those of you who are curious. Alright everybody, we're here at the range with the P365 SAS. We have some MagTech 115 grain full metal jacket loaded up. We're going to run the first mag through the pistol. Alright, so here's our first target. Shots were a little low and left, but with this still a different sighting system, I've never used it before, and you've got the slide kind of covering a large portion of that target. So getting used to that, we're going to run another mag and see how it does. Alright, with the second magazine, group was a little more centered, but still a bit low. Could be the sights, could be me, not really sure. We'll see as we keep shooting. Did auto forward that time with that reload, kind of palming it in at the right angle. Sent the slide forward automatically. I don't know if that's a design feature or not, but kind of interesting. It still has the same 10+1 standard capacity with 12 and 15 round magazines available. It also has the same barrel length, width, height, etc. The case and included accessories are all going to be the same as the original P365. Includes the two 10-round magazines, one with a flush fit base plate and one with the pinky extension. Still packaged in the same nice lockable foam padded hard case. While this gun is similar in many ways to the original model, the differences are pretty significant. The first thing you'll notice is the lack of sights on top of the slide here. The sights, especially the front sight, are usually the biggest snag point on most pistols, but with this gun, they've completely done away with the traditional sights. Instead, they've machined the slide to accept the flush fit FT bullseye sight in the rear. The FT bullseye sight uses a fiber optic and tritium combination, which gives you a large green bullseye style sight. It almost feels similar to using a red dot optic. When you bring the gun up, if you have it correctly lined up, you'll see the green dot inside of a lit green circle. But if it's not lined up properly, then the outer circle will kind of fade away or disappear until you get it straight. Alright, we've turned out the lights at the range. We're going to see how the tritium functions in these FT bullseye sights. There is still glow in these, even in the dark, without the fiber optic. Additionally, we're going to see how much muzzle flash is coming out of this ported barrel. Alright guys, so we're trying to line this up on the camera here and show you the tritium in this sight. It does actually line up pretty well to the naked eye. It's kind of hard to get a good focus on it here. This is supposed to be much quicker and easier to acquire your sight picture, theoretically making it easier to use in a self-defense scenario. My experience on the range was that it did seem to take a little longer to acquire a good sight picture, but my follow-up shots were very quick. I would say it's kind of similar to using a reflex sight on a pistol. If you're used to using your traditional iron sights, you'll typically be slower initially when using that new sight system, but I think over time it's something that you could really get used to and get very quick with. So the next thing that you're going to notice is that the controls have all been shaved down to be a little more low profile. The slide lock and the takedown lever have both been minimized so that they're pretty much flush with the frame and slide. Again, this helps reduce the chance of snagging them on clothing or anything else while drawing the pistol. It is worth noting that the slide lock is now nearly impossible to use as a slide release unless you stick your fingernail or something inside of there. It's really designed to be used as a slide lock only and not a release. So if you'd like to use that lever to drop your slide after reloading a new mag, know that it probably won't work on this pistol. You're going to have to go over the top and actually rack the slide. On a positive note, if you do tend to ride the slide lock with your thumb and have problems with the slide not locking back on empty, this new flush lever really prevents that from happening, as it's not easy to bump or cover with your thumb while shooting. Now we're going to try the 365 SAS drawn out of the pocket and a concealment holster to see if that lack of sights and rounded edges really helps out. The takedown lever is also much smaller and now requires something like a tool or coin to turn that. Another feature where you kind of trade that ease of use in order to make it more low profile and snag proof. Other than that lever being shaved down, the takedown process is still exactly the same. You're going to drop your magazine, lock the slide to the rear, and then rotate that lever 90 degrees in order to get your slide off. Across the whole pistol, all your corners and edges are very smooth and rounded, so there are no sharp corners or snag points really anywhere on the slide or the frame. Up here on the front of the slide, you're going to notice that this gun now has a ported slide and barrel. These micro-compact pistols tend to be a little more snappy as far as felt recoil goes, and the porting is designed to help with that. Ports like this do tend to foul up your front sight and make it harder to see, but since there's no front sight on this pistol, it works really well. There are a few things to be aware of when shooting a ported gun. If you have bigger hands, you want to make sure that you can keep your support thumb away from those ports so that you're not going to get burned. Not a huge issue, but it is something to be mindful of when you're practicing with the gun. For me, I made a point to push my support hand into the lower frame of the pistol, so that kept it away from there. You also want to make sure that if you ever have to use the gun in a self-defense situation, you find yourself shooting from retention or other unusual position, that you keep these ports angled away from you and your face so you don't get debris and gases coming back at you. Again, not a problem that most people are likely to encounter, but it's definitely something you want to keep in mind. While testing the gun on the range, we did compare this to the original P365 model to see if the porting makes a big difference. I would say that the felt recoil was much less and my follow-up shots were a lot quicker with this. I don't know how the video is going to show, but this was actually a lot easier. I did expect it to be kind of blinded, especially in the low light situations. However, it really wasn't that bad of a flash. It's only a few inches and very brief, so I saw no detriment to my night sight when shooting this. Works pretty well. A lot less blinding than I thought it would be actually. So who's this gun for? I would say that this gun's going to be an ideal option for those who prefer to carry it in their pants, pocket, their vest, maybe a purse, basically something soft where snagging is going to be a concern. If you carry in a Kydex holster or something a little more firm, snagging usually isn't going to be as big of an issue, as the gun has usually cleared all of your clothing by the time it's out of that holster. If you pocket carry often, the Snag-Proof design and the quick sight acquisition is probably going to be really helpful. On the other hand, if you're used to carrying a Kydex holster or something similar for your pistol, the trade-offs may not be worth it to you, and you might want to stick with the original P365 or the XL model. They're all excellent pistols. You just have to decide which one is the best fit for you and the way that you plan on carrying the gun. How do you prefer to carry? You can drop us a comment below and let us know your preferred method of carry. Alright guys, that's going to be it for the P365 SAS. Check the link in the description to find the entire P365 lineup, accessories, giveaways, and even more. So we just hit 10,000 subscribers here on our channel, and we wanted to say thank you to all of you guys for your support. We really appreciate you guys watching, liking, and sharing the videos with your friends. It really helps us out and allows us to keep bringing you guys more new videos like this. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.